Does this part help you at all? Do you look at that part, or does that not help you?
It helps me by finding the sections I need to do.
So you already know about how important the sections are. Actually, that's really good because we're going to talk about that today. So I might have you maybe share how you use this part. Would you mind doing that with the group? That is perfect because that is really setting up what we're going to talk about. So you would say this is a storybook, not a book of information? Okay, all right, that's great. So what is your strategy to read such a really long story? Okay, so actually that's really good because today we're kind of going to talk about, is a novel a story? So would you mind if I shared that with the group, that it sometimes is confusing? Is a story a novel? Is a novel a story? That's a great question that I think we could answer as a group today. Okay, excellent. Readers have to live a balanced reading life, just like you live a balanced, healthy life. So you have to really think about what you're putting into your brain. And you want to make sure that there's a balance. And I see that you have a balanced diet, that you're reading some books of information to fill your mind. You're reading some books that are funny with talking critters. You're reading some books that help you with your imagination. You're reading books that teach you. So what I see here is a very healthy diet for readers. And I want you to keep that up. But what I want you to think about is that, let's say these were two things that I would consume to be in my healthy diet. And they're both fruit, but they're different kinds of fruit, aren't they? So it's important that I notice this is a what? Orange. This is an orange, this is a apple. And somewhere somebody taught me that if I'm going to eat an apple, if I'm going to eat an apple and I'm going to eat an orange, I have to do more than notice they're different. I have to act differently. So if I watched you eat an apple, how would you act? Now, here's a secret. Fiction, any kind of fiction, realism, fantasy, historical, any kind of story, you need to read it in the same way you think about an apple. Because you have to read the whole story to get it, or your brain's going to be aching. You cannot read a section. You cannot go into, see how I did this with the orange? I went into the middle of the orange. I cannot take a story and go into the middle of a story. It's going to hurt my brain. So I have to read the whole story. And I have to start with the first bite, and I have to take the next bite, and the next bite, and the next bite, and the next one, till I get to the very end. And I will know that I'm done when I get to what we call the core of fiction, which is the life story. So how many of you have read Charlotte's Web? And I think, oh, this was a great book about a pig, and about a spider, and about a web, and about a farm, and about a fair.
And about babies. Now,
let me ask you this. Is Charlotte's Web a book about a pig and a spider?
Yes.
No. What's the book about Charlotte's Web about? It's a book about what? Friendship. And that is what we call the core. The core of fiction is when you go, oh, I get it. This is not a book about a pig and a spider. Oh my gosh, I get it. This is a book about friendship. And you do not know that from the front cover, because you cannot see the core on the outside, can you? So I want you to think of fiction like the apple. You cannot get the good stuff in fiction till you have taken every bite. And you have to start from the beginning all the way to the end. And you will know you're close. You will know you are almost there when you start seeing that core. Your brain starts going, oh, this is not really, oh my gosh, this is a book about friendship. Then you know you are done. That is how I want you to act when you are reading fiction. I want you to think of how you act when you eat an apple. Nonfiction is structured like an orange. The very first thing we see in the orange is we see what the whole book is about. So the whole book is about animals that are amazing. Now, everything inside the book is information or contents. When we talk about contents, we talk about the inside of something. So if I peeled back and I looked inside the book, every piece of information is going to be about what? Animals. But how are those pieces of information organized? Did the writer just throw a bunch of facts in? No, he didn't just say, I'm going to throw every fact I know about animals. I'm going to throw it in this book. How do writers of information organize their facts and details? They put them in what? Pieces. Not pieces. They put them in what? Sections. And so right away, I can open the book and I can see how many sections are in this book about animals. There's a section about a hawk, a section about an albatross, a section about an octopus, and a section about an elephant. Now here's what's important. Can I decide how hungry I am about this topic, how much knowledge I want? What if I don't want very much? What if I just want a little taste? Can I go into the middle? Can I go in any section? Or do I have to go in order? Turn and share with a neighbor. What do you think? Do I have to start at section 1? It is a waste of my time, listen to this, to start at page 1, page 2. This is not a story. It is not an apple. I don't need to see the whole thing. I can decide how hungry I am for this information, and I go straight to that section. And I can only read that section, and I can say, that's enough. I'm full. I don't need any more. So, here's what I want you to remember from today. It is important to keep a healthy diet as a reader. You need to be getting good at reading fiction books and nonfiction books. And I'm so proud that you are recognizing that different stories are in different genres. But you also have to be a good reader and say, oh, this is fiction. Here's how I'm going to enjoy the experience. This is nonfiction. Here's how I'm going to act and behave. Because when I look at a fruit, even though I don't say it out loud, I don't just say, oh, this is an apple, this is an orange. I don't care. I'm going to eat them the same way. I say, this is an apple. Oh, I'm going to eat it like this. This is an orange. Oh, I'm going to peel it, and I'm going to decide on the sections. I want to develop. The brain is a pattern-seeking, meaning-making organism. Training kids to use their brain efficiently is critical in our work. And efficient learners notice patterns. They recognize trends, and they monitor their behavior according to those patterns and trends. And in the world with so much information and so much stimulus, our survival is about how efficiently we can recognize and replicate patterns. Language is a pattern. Genre is a pattern. The alphabet is a pattern. So it is a survival tool, not just a categorization tool. It's a whole different experience when you are discovering literacy together.